Mad Max Trilogy in 5 minutes. Everything you need to know about the story so far. Spoiler alert! We pick up Max Rokitansky's saga a few years from now in rural Australia, where most people are still wearing normal clothing and trying to carve out a peaceful life in the wake of a major global energy crisis. Law and order, however, has begun to break down and deadly gangs have started roaming the countryside. The main force patrol has become Australia's last line of defence against total anarchy and spend their days chasing down outlaws and spying on people having outdoor sex. When an outlaw bikie named Knight Rider kills a cop and attempts to escape in a stolen pursuit special, several members of the MFP engage chase. The Knight Rider and his floozy manage to outrun their initial pursuers, but end up in a game of chicken with an ice-cold Max, the MFP's best pursuit man. The Knight Rider becomes a blubbering mess when it becomes apparent that he cannot escape Max, and he quickly perishes in an explosive wreck. Back at home, Max is relaxing with his beloved wife Jessie while his young son Sprog plays with his gun. Max is called into MFP HQ early by his good friend Goose, who's desperate to show him something. That something is a supercharged V8 pursuit special that's guaranteed to be the fastest thing on the road.
Kick it in the guts, Barry.
At this stage, we're introduced to the late Knight Rider's gang, led by the enigmatic Toe Cutter. While collecting the body of their friend, the gang run riot through town and attack several locals. Max and Goose arrest one of the bikers, Johnny the Boy, when they find him at the scene of a violent assault. Unfortunately, when no witnesses show for Johnny's trial, he's released. A furious Goose attacks him, leaving tensions between the gang and the MFP at boiling point.
We'll see you on the road, skag!
In retaliation, Johnny the Boy sabotages Goose's motorcycle and Goose is tossed from it the next day. He's ambushed on his way back to headquarters and severely burned when Johnny, coerced by Toe Cutter, throws a match into the petrol leaking from the upturned ute. After seeing Goose's scorched body in hospital, Max resigns from the MFP and heads north with his wife and son. Unfortunately, Toe Cutter and his gang track them and run down Jessie and Sprog. Filled with rage, Max heads back to MFP HQ and takes the V8 Interceptor to hunt down the gang. After running several off the road, he's ambushed and shot in the leg, but he manages to kill Toe Cutter's second-in-command, Bubba Zanetti. He then chases down Toe Cutter himself, whom he forces into a grisly head-on collision with a truck with painted-on headlights. Later, Max finds Johnny the Boy and handcuffs him to a car wreck, setting the vehicle to explode. Max tosses Johnny a hacksaw, telling him he'll be able to hack through his ankle in half the time it'd take to hack through the high-tensile steel chain of the handcuffs. Johnny pleads for his life as Max drives off, and the car explodes. We pick up Max's story several years later. Law and order has completely vanished, as has the MFP. Max now roams the outback in his scarred pursuit special, hunting for fuel and food and battling other scavengers. His only companion is an Australian cattle dog. After a run-in with a group of marauders, Max meets the extremely unhinged and extremely feathered Wes, who flees, leaving Max able to scavenge fuel from the cars destroyed in the chase. After inspecting a nearby truck, Max finds an unattended gyrocopter. The pilot captures him, but Max quickly turns the tables. In exchange for Max's mercy, the pilot agrees to lead Max to a nearby refinery where he suspects Max may be able to find all the gasoline he can carry. The problem is the compound is under siege by a large gang of marauders, led by Lord Humongous, proof that the world is not only running out of fuel, but it's also running out of normal clothing.
The Ayatollah have a rock and roller!
I'm gravely disappointed.
Several of the refinery's defenders attempt to escape, but all but one are killed by Humongous's gang. Max makes a deal with the wounded survivor that he will bring him back to the compound in exchange for a tank of fuel. Unfortunately, the man dies after they enter the facility, and the facility's leader, Papagallo, refuses to honour the deal.
Get rid of it.
Move it, come on.
At that moment, Humongous and his gang return with a final ultimatum: leave the compound and the gas, and he'll spare their lives. He's lying, of course, and after Wes's partner is killed by a feral kid's razor-sharp boomerang, Humongous promises Wes revenge. Aware the group at the refinery want to leave with a tanker full of fuel but have no truck to tow it, Max then tells Papagallo of the truck he saw nearby and offers to retrieve it in exchange for his car and all the fuel he can carry. Max sneaks out, joins the gyro captain, and returns the truck, running the gauntlet through Humongous's marauders. Max later leaves with his interceptor but is chased down in Humongous's nitrous oxide-equipped car. Max is forced off the road and the marauders John Wick his dog. But Max's booby-trapped interceptor explodes when one of them tries to siphon the fuel. A badly injured Max is rescued by the gyro captain as he is trying to crawl away. Max then demands he drive the tanker as the refinery defenders make their escape. With Papagallo in tow and the feral kid plus a number of others aboard, he crashes through Humongous's blockade with the help of the gyro captain. The facility is destroyed behind them as a convoy of civilians make off in a different direction. Papagallo and the others are all killed as the marauders assault the tanker. The gyro captain sets Humongous' truck alight but is shot down, and in a spectacular crash, Max kills both Wes and Humongous. The tanker crashes and it's revealed to be a decoy full of sand. The convoy of vehicles escaped with the precious fuel in drums. The gyro captain, who survived his crash, takes the feral kid and leads the escaping refinery defenders north, leaving Max as just a memory.
That was the last we ever saw of him.
Many years later, Max is crossing the desert in a camel-drawn truck when he's attacked by a pilot who isn't the gyro captain, although he looks exactly like him, who steals all his belongings and camels. There's also a monkey. Continuing on foot, Max finds himself in Bartertown, where he's introduced to Auntie Entity, who offers to resupply him if he agrees to kill a man in a fight to the death. Auntie explains that Bartertown runs on a refinery powered by, well,
picture.
The refinery is run by a dwarf called Master and his hulking bodyguard Blaster, who Auntie wants out of the picture. Max picks a fight with Master Blaster and faces off with Blaster in the Thunderdome. Max eventually gains the upper hand but refuses to kill him when he discovers Blaster is actually developmentally disabled. Auntie is furious and has Blaster executed and Max exiled into the desert on a horse. The horse dies, but that monkey from earlier brings Max an extremely well-timed drink. Max rewards said monkey by collapsing on it before being rescued by a tribe of really poorly spoken kids living in a nearby oasis. The kids are survivors from a crashed jumbo who believe Max is the pilot, returning to fix the plane and fly them back to civilization. Everything gets pretty weird for the next half hour before Max finds himself sneaking back into Bartertown, where he and his band of youngsters free the captive Master and effect an explosive escape. Wait, is that the monkey? After a brief chase, Max, Master and the kids come across the pilot from earlier, who Max forces to escape with the kids while he clears a path through Auntie Entity's squad of vehicles. Auntie spares Max, while the pilot and the rescued kids fly to the coast to find the ruins of Sydney, where they establish a society of their own, leaving Max in the desert alone again. What does all this have to do with Mad Max Fury Road? Not a hell of a lot, apparently, but at least you're up to speed. Now, go see Fury Road, you skags.